Alexis Nunes alongside Janusz Michallik. We are talking Manchester United because Janusz, 5 goals in that match up against Southampton. Man United having to claw their way back at St. Mary's from 2-0 down to making it 3-2 to the Red Devils. El Matador, Edinson Cavani coming up trumps with a brace there. I mean, there's so much always to praise about fight back wins, I'm sure. But what would you think Ole will be proud of the most from this performance?
Well, I think, to be honest, it didn't look great early on, but if you look at the entire performance from it, you say to yourself that before their great comeback, almost like old school Manchester United from years back. But I think if you look at this game, yes, they were behind 2-0, 2 set pieces. But think about it. I mean, Manchester United had so many good chances. Mason Greenwood had a couple of close to being sitters, really, right? That one, Alex McCarthy was tremendous throughout the game. If you remember that once, double save where even Bruno Fernandes couldn't put it away. So they've had their chances between Mason Greenwood and Bruno Fernandes even early on when they were behind as well. So I think he will be happy with the performance. But of course, he wouldn't have wanted to be behind 2-0 because that's a big ask against such a good Southampton team that's usually very, very disciplined, well managed by Ralph Hasenhuttl, who's really one of those up-and-coming managers, right, in terms of what's happening right now. But, this is a microcosm of Manchester United, right, because they're inconsistent from game to game. And here we've seen this inconsistency within the game. The good news, in a way, and I shouldn't say good news on De Gea, is that Dean Henderson gets his chance. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if he stays there for a little bit longer, even when De Gea is healthy. But of course, the story is Edinson Cavani. I'm happy to report for once that I never doubted his signing. He just needs time. Look, came in at halftime, and almost immediately, within 15, 20 minutes, he was the story, right? I mean, he had a chance that he should have scored, if you remember, when he swiveled and should have scored right there, set up a goal. I think it was Bruno Fernandes. And of course, that header, it's just incredible because that's what we remember Edinson Cavani from. So the best is yet to come. And, maybe this is the catalyst that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United needed because it seemed like they're going in the right direction. I know it's just that one game, but my goodness, this was something to get excited about if you are a Manchester United supporter.
Well, I mean, there was a couple of individuals definitely that I wanted to talk about. You already mentioned 2, so let me go to the third one in Donny van de Beek. I mean, you'd have to be living under a rock to not know that there's a campaign out on social media for him called #FreeDonny. Everybody, including myself, have been expecting him to start more since Ole brought him on. He did get that today. How much did he help his chance to continue to getting that start?
A lot, without maybe being, the one that jumps at you right away. And Donny van de Beek, I thought it was good from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because we often criticize him as of late, but I think you got to give him credit because he's recognized how Southampton were always going to press, and just not just in front, but in the midfield. They've been superb in that. Oriol Romeu, one of those players that, Ward Prowse as well. Those are the players that make it difficult. And when you playing against a team like Southampton, when you press, you've got to have players in the midfield that have the ability to come out of that press, have the technique, have the vision of it, right? And Nemanja Vidic can do that, but it's not very quick. And Fred, of course, is not that type. So I thought that his inclusion today was smart. And I certainly think that he did his job and did it very, very well without being the story of the game. And very often you need that. Let the Cavani be the story. Let the Marcus Rashford be the story of it. Let the Bruno Fernandes be the story, because they are always the sort of players that you look towards when you need the goals, when you need the players to lead you, right, Alexis? So I thought that this was good managing from Ole, and I thought he was very good in a quiet way, if you will.
Well, over here in the UK, Janusz, Roy Keane said that watching Man United definitely can't be good for your health. He said that at halftime when they were down, and he's a lover of good defending, good proper old school defending, that's been a bit of an Achilles heel for Man United. We know going forward, they tend to impress and be quite fluid. But defending, there's still a few questions. What did you make of the performance today, especially defending against set pieces?
Yeah, well, that was a problem, right? And I think if I remember correctly, Man United had that problem with Southampton last year when they played them there, right? And look, I mean, on the first goal, I think it was Alex Telles in front, and I think Rashford behind Jan Bednarek, the Polish international. And on the near post right there, between the two, they've got to put a body on him. You don't always have to win the ball in a header, right? I mean, it's ideal, but sometimes you've got to make, Bednarek uncomfortable. And between the two, they did not do that. Now, the second goal set piece, of course, we know what kind of a specialist Ward Prowse is on those, but it wasn't his best. It wasn't the one that we've seen in the past where it's just out of reach of everybody. And look, David De Gea there, I think he got himself injured on that plate as well. Maybe his pride a little bit too, because I just think that it's one of those that is very much savable. So, other than that, defensively, I think against a team like Southampton who throw so many players forwards because they press you, I don't think it was terrible in any way. So yes, set pieces are important in today's game, always have been and always will be, because it's one time where you can set yourself up. You have time to think, you have time to communicate to prevent those sort of goals, because sometimes in a run of play you don't have a time to react. So I don't think United will be happy with either of those goals.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.